I'm Donovan Sebrango. I'm number 37 for the Kitchener Rangers. Through this crazy year right now, I'm in Grand Rapids playing for the Grand Rapids Griffins AHL team for Detroit Red Wings, and been here for around little under 3 months, maybe somewhere around there, and that's where I am right now.
Hey, I'm Declan McDonnell, number 25 forward for the Rangers. I'm currently in Syracuse, playing for Tampa Bay's affiliate team here. I think I've been over here for about 3 months, so a lot of experience here, and it's going good.
Kind of how I kind of started going, got to Kitchener. It's kind of a weird path, I guess you could kind of say. I was committed to a school before committing to the Rangers, and I didn't really have any intention of coming to the OHL, but it just kind of worked out that I got drafted to a good team, and kind of just fit perfectly, and kind of things lined up, and I ended up coming to Kitchener and going into, I guess, what would have been my third year this year. So I guess hopefully fourth year coming up. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird, unexpected turn that got me to Kitchener, but I'm definitely glad that it kind of took me to here.
Yeah, same path. I was committed to Providence, and Macker pushed me to come to Kitchener, so don't regret the decision at all, and love it. Made a lot of good friends along the way, and can't wait to come back next year.
I remember Macker, a couple games, end of the year, they're like, you got to call this kid, tell him to come. And I'm like, I really didn't want to call you. I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to push this guy into, like, if this doesn't go his way, then maybe I don't want this guy to say it was my fault. But I remember I got bald head because we just shaved our head for playoffs. Macker calls me into his office and got to get this guy to come, like, call him, tell him how it is. And I'm like, I don't know. So, yeah, I think, did Vooks end up calling you?
Yeah, Vooks and Dammer. I was like, remember, I was in my basement. It's like, oh my God, because, like, I was still, like, playing for the Junior Sabres at the time. I was like, oh my God, like, I saw him as, like, big dog. So I was kind of, like, nervous, like, Dammer and Vooks calling me. But, yeah, they said some good words about Kitchener. So, yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, I think it was right near the end of playoffs. Did you ever see us all with our heads shaved?
No, but I went to a game against Sioux, and, like, I think it was a regular season game, and I was just blown away by the hockey.
Yeah, it was. I remember my like for even like in the tunnel way, like before we walked out, like it just like all felt like a dream. And then like guys are all saying like your minds are about to be blown, and I'm just like,
yeah,
it's just another game. Like I won't be that. And then I walk out and like you just see it's like just everything goes quiet, and you just like look up and you see like.
Yeah, that was before the home opener last year in Saginaw. Like, like how we played preseason, like no one's there or whatever. And I was like asking all the boys, like asking you, I was like, oh, is it gonna be full? And like you just walk out and like it's like literally jam packed. And then like you're so nervous, everyone's like, don't fall, don't fall. Like,
yeah.
And then the vets are like trying to pick your walkout song, like just like
I
don't want to walk down 8,000 in front of people and like play like some joke song, but it was funny.
I remember my rookie year. It was opening night, and they picked. I forget what song they picked for me. It was like Barbie Girl or something. I was so nervous. I was trying to hear my name to when to come out, and I didn't hear it. So I went to go walk out, and I was like 3 guys before me. And like I forget it was behind me. Like Dammer like pulled me back, but I couldn't even imagine if I walked out like 3 people before me and I walked in front of 7,000.
Yeah, that's crazy. Remember, I think Fishy had like Jesse's Girl.
Yeah.
Who had the Baby Shark song? Serpa?
Oh, my Serpa.
Baby Shark song was hilarious. But yeah, that was funny.
What was kind of your like welcome to the OHL moment, or like what's kind of one thing that kind of sticks out when you first got here?
I think just like how you're treated, like in camp, like I remember even like my like right after my rookie, like when you get drafted, like rookie camp, like I show up and like get all the equipment. Like I just saw a picture on my Snapchat memories of like me taking a picture in like my Kitchener's Rangers gear. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. So like I feel like that like really was like, oh my God, like this is like sick. It was like the rookie camp, and like that's not even like the full experience. But like yeah, definitely like training camp, even like last year, right before the season, like everything's just so serious. Everything's like well planned out. But yeah, I think that was definitely rookie camp. Like
Yeah, I know what you mean. You walk into camp and then you got wides chirping you on the pull-up bar when you're going all the way down. He's like trying to get you to, you got nowhere else to go, and he's screaming at you to go even low, and you're like hyperextending your elbows. But yeah, rookie, and any camp, huh?
What was your welcome moment? Or was that
I don't know. I have a few. I mean, one moment that kind of stuck out, it wasn't even me that happened to it. It was actually Reed. But we were playing Saginaw my rookie year preseason, and they had this before he got called. He went and played the AHL the rest of the year after preseason. He didn't. But he was playing on Saginaw. It was like 6'5" guy named Middleton. Like looked like an absolute man, and like we're being rookies, like kind of buzzing around, being idiots. You know, just trying to like make a name for ourselves. Yeah. And this 6'5" guy, I'll never forget it. Reed comes off the ice after the game, and I'm like asking him like how his game was, and like he was terrified. He said they were like in front of the net, and like Reed's being an idiot, and like just trying to make a little name for himself. And this guy said basically he'll just kill him, like, buddy, like stop doing what you're doing, or you're gonna die. And I'm like, I remember that so clearly. Like you just like I don't know why. I remember it so clearly. It's just like kind of a welcome moment that like it's kind of the real deal, and there's no more chirping behind a cage anymore. If you're gonna chirp or you're gonna buzz around there hitting guys, that you kind of gotta answer the bell a few times. So I don't know if that was my welcome moment, but it's definitely something that sticks out my first couple of games.
Yeah, I'm not a big chirper, so. You like
another funny memory. Do you remember when he got hit in the face in Ottawa with the puck?
Yeah, dude. And then like a month later, Dammer rings went off the crossbar. Where were we?
Dude,
London. We were in London.
I'll never.
Dammer rings went right off the crossbar. But yeah, Ottawa. Like a slap shot off the face. Yeah.
I remember being in the stands. I'm like injured, being a little like come on, like, huh?
You were injured during that game?
Yeah. So I remember my hometown game, I was like a little, and I remember you like stumbling forward, and then a puck just dings you in the face. And I'm like, I always chirp you for your big head too. And you just like looked like you hurt the puck more than it hurt your face. You're out there like 2 shifts later with a bubble on.
Yeah. I came back though. I think that was the game I scored my first goal in OHL.
Yeah, you did. And then we went Kingston. You scored again too. You went on a little bit of a hot streak.
I just needed a wake up call in the face. But I remember, so like a couple games before that, like we were in the offensive zone, like same exact face-off situation. And Keyser, like I was like, this guy just picked me. Like I didn't even try to get around him. So then Keyser calls me in his office. He's like, hey, like you got to make more of an effort to get around this guy. And so I did that in Ottawa, and like I just like hunt down the D like as hard as I could, and that's what happened. But it was just so funny, like just the moments up to it.
Yeah. But how did you feel in your first OHL fight? Like, what kind of feelings went through your body? I feel like that.
It was like just adrenaline. Like I like don't normally fight, like, but I have to be like super like mad, you know. Like I need some.
Yeah, I've never seen you like fully like.
Yeah, like
I've never seen you mad. Now that I come to think about it.
Yeah, like I don't really get mad, but like I don't just like so like it was in the corner, you know, at home. And Oric was just like cross-checking me from behind like 3 or 4 times, like, all right, this is enough. And like I just instant shed, like I didn't even think about what I was doing. It's just in the moment, like, all right, whatever, like get it out of the way. But
yeah.
What was your?
I remember that. I was the one right before Christmas break, wasn't it? Was it right before Christmas break?
I don't know. You didn't have one your first year, your rookie year?
What? No, I'm talking about yours.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was somewhere in there. Yeah.
It was a good fight.
Yeah, we were trying to throw some heavy ones and no one hit.
Couple of heavy ones getting thrown.
Yeah, we didn't connect. But what was your first fight?
Mine was, and it was at home against the guy from Erie. It was totally just not expected. Yeah. Oh, I remember I'm good buddies with Drysdale, and I remember going out there. I don't even know if I was supposed to go, but I was so mad we were losing like 5-0. I remember just hopping out on the ice and like asking him for as polite as I could, like, hey, can you give me one? Like, I was just pissed off, knowing like he wouldn't. Anyways, and then like 2 seconds later, play starts. It gets rimmed, and I went to pinch to get it, and then like literally like last second when I went to grab it, I like saw that guy was pretty vulnerable. So I destroyed this guy, like probably my biggest hit in the OHL, and then nothing really happened. And then like guy jumped me and like went to jump me, but his butt end hit me right in the face. So I got pretty mad. And then like I heard Arbor screaming from the bench, like, go him. And I just like, I got scared and I just like dropped my gloves. And then like it just happened to be that the guy was right in front of me and just kind of,
you don't even think about it.
Yeah, I didn't even really mean to. And then like it got in the moment, I was just like, oh boy, like everyone's watching me, like not really what you're thinking about. But like, anyways, I ended up going kind of somewhat my way. But I remember just being like, all eyes are on you. Like, you better come. You better be ready.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. Just like all eyes on you in that one moment. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Like, yeah, like a little moment just kind of your own. Like everyone's kind of watching you just for a second.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some school now. That's what we got about school times.
Yeah. Like we'd go to like Pizza or Tim Hortons in our car, and we'd all just sit in our car and just
we'd
like Langer's car or your car.
We'd literally pray that one of the school guys got the star of the game, so they got the pizza gift card so we can go and yeah, definitely not the best eating habits in school, but those pizzas with the little dipping sauces, they were good.
I think we'd go there like twice a week. Miss P or your mom would bring us lunch too.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
The bubblies.
Yeah, the bub. So good. Dude, my mom would literally be planning those for like a week in advance. Like she's like, "Do you want what is Declan like? What is Reed like?" Like she'd be like, "Oh, she would have everything prepared like a week in advance." Like, she loved it.
Yeah. Oh, what else is there in school? Oh, the floor ball. So like some like the student council or whatever it was set up like a floor ball tournament, and like the winner of the tournament would face all the Rangers in the championship. So it was me, you, Serpa, Reed, Langer. Who else am I missing? Is that it?
I think that's it.
Nally and Motu do it?
No, they didn't do it.
So yeah, it's like all the seniors, all of us. I just remember these kids like so excited, so nervous. Like there's like actually a crowd. Like I think like there was some good, like there's a lot of people there, and like we just got waxed like 10-3 or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember like walking in like kind of like Conor McGregor into the ring. Like I'm like the man here, like walking in, and I'm like, these guys aren't anything. Like everyone's like, oh my God, here comes the Rangers. Like they're gonna beat them so bad. And then we got Reed in our net, letting literally a beach ball. He could let a beach ball in if there was 5-hole. Like then we're giving this guy the breakaway. And then I remember getting so mad. Like I was dripping sweat too. And I remember being like,
we were like, kind of trying too. And
and like I was trying. Like I'm sprinting up and down. I remember being drenched, and I'm just like, come on, like what the heck's going on?
Yeah, dude.
And we gotta go face the boys at practice later that day and tell them that we lost to a bunch of.
That was the best, coming back from school, going to the rink and just talking about stories in the dry cell room. Like, what happened today? Like, oh, so joke.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it might have been my first year. I'm trying to think. Actually, no, it might have been the second. I can't remember. I was with Reed, and it was like, no, I think it was our second year. We had a spare. I don't know, second year. We had a spare. And that's when Jay McKee was still there. Were you there during that time?
Yeah, I was still there.
Right. Okay.
Well, after I'll see if I remember this.
Yeah, anyways, I don't know. And me and Reed were like, man, we're really tired. Like, and like, so like we grabbed the yoga mat and we like turned the one light off in the dry stall room, and like we sit down like on the floor, like on these yoga mats with like pillows and everything, and we're like, I was like, no way I'll fall asleep. And like all of a sudden, like one of the trainers comes, like turns off all the lights for us, so it's literally pitch black. We're like, oh, this is perfect. And 2 seconds later, I fall asleep. We're snoring. Like, anyways, like 20 minutes later, it felt like years later, Keiser comes in, turns on all the lights, and sees me and Reed just sleeping in the middle of the dry stall room. And he lost it on us. He's like, if you guys don't want to be here, go home. Like basically telling us like, we can't keep our eyes open. No point being here. Like, but I remember being like, because guys would always fall asleep, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's my turn. It's just bad timing that.
Yeah, I remember that. because you guys would always leave like fourth period early.
Yeah.
So mad. I'm like, oh my God, like they're out of school, like they're at the rink already, like taping their sticks, warming up, whatever. And I get so mad. But I remember that day I came to the rink and you and Reed were like so mad, like so depressed. I was like, oh, thank
I had my head down, just like, oh, I'm done. I thought I was like, yeah, see you later, guys. See me in London when I get traded. I'm just like, got my head down.
He was like, what's wrong, guys? We just got shredded.
Just got, yeah. Yeah, that was fun. Or how about my story? I don't think I've ever actually told anyone this, but like maybe Dan Liebel can have a good laugh at this now. But my rookie year, we were playing Hamilton, and we lost so bad to them, and they were like bad my first year. And they have like, have you ever been to the room? Were we there before? Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been to Hamilton. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like when you enter like the two doors, there's like walls here. Have you know what I'm talking about?
It's like in the basement, right? Like,
yeah, and like anyways, there's like a little doorway into like the room before you enter, and like the door, like the walls are like thin drywall, like thin. And me being the idiot, I didn't know that, and I'm walking off the ice, and I hate to lose. I have a pretty bad temper, and I go and I'm so mad, and I'm like, go to give like the softest little punch to the wall. Anyways, I go like this, and like the wall, my arm like up to here through the wall, and I'm like, oh, and I look around and like no one sees it, and I'm like, okay, so I pull my hand out of this wall. All of a sudden, I hear like two people after me. Arb just come clunking in, sees this hole in the wall, boom, puts his hand through the wall, and now it's like as big as my head, this hole in the wall. I'm like, oh my God, Arbor, what do you like?
Yeah,
come on, man.
He didn't hold back either.
He didn't hold back. He like gave it to this wall, and I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, maybe they won't notice, but like it's size of my head. So nothing. We get on the bus, still nothing's been said. All of a sudden, Dan Liebel, last person on the bus, whoever punched the hole in the wall, come talk to me, like losing his mind. And I'm like, me being a rookie, I'm like, oh my God, I'm done. Like, I'm done. And I remember like telling the guys, like, I like go ask the veterans. I'm like, ask Greg Vooks. Like, I'm like, what do I do here, guys? Because I was like, I gotta pack my bags. Like, I'm going home already. Like, what do I do? Anyways, Vooks ended up lying and taking the fall. But in the moment, I was like, it was the dumbest thing I've ever done. But I don't even think I told my mom ever that story. I was so scared. But hopefully, Dan can have a good laugh about it now. But I remember that moment. I was like, whoa.
Vooks soaked all the blame.
Yeah, Vooks is like went up to him like, yeah, it was me. I'm sorry. Like I told Vooks, I was like if you got to pay for it, like obviously I'll give you the money for it. But yeah, Vooks goes up. I don't know how the conversation went down because Dan was very mad about it, as he should have been. But he went up and basically told me I was him, and I don't ever remember if whatever happened after that, but I remember that, and I'm just like, that was the biggest dumb moment of my life. I was just like full hand through the wall like it was nothing.
That's good. Wow. Any other stories?
I'm trying to think. We got the garbage in the cars.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I remember the night so clearly. I was like sitting in bed and like me and Reed, dumb, just put Dumb and Dumber together basically is what you're doing. I remember just like chilling on my phone and we'd always go on drives, and then like you being like a block away, us like go for a drive, and then we'd like drive by your house, like look, like what's Declan doing? Of course you're always doing.
Just you look out the window and I peek out. You guys are just like there.
You're doing your homework, and I'm like, I really should be doing my homework too. And I'm like, you know what? And then one night we always drove Reed's car, so I'd always make it a mess because I knew it made him mad. And then we're like, we pulled up to your house, and we're like, we start looking at the garbage, and we like look at your car, like put your windshield up, or windshield, and just kind of throw some pieces of garbage. And then you come the next day to school saying your billet dad told you.
My billet dad took the garbage out like late or something. He talks up like someone pranked your car. I'm like, what? I go out and look at it. I'm like, I knew it was you guys. You guys denied it. I had no idea. And what
Put
happened?
like a rotten apple on the
Yeah.
window.
You had like a McDonald's bag on my windshield wiper. Yeah. And then what happened? I walked into school the next day. I was like, yo, you guys did it. Like, you guys still just did it.
I thought it was so funny. I was like, what? And then even the better part, we come back, like, I forget some road trip, but I know it was like 2, 3 in the morning. And then Reed's driving me. I'm like half asleep in the front seat. All of a sudden, I'm like getting close to my the house, and I'm like looking. I'm like, what is on my car? All I see is you beside me, just dumping garbage on my car. I couldn't even be mad about it because I was like, it's 3 in the morning. This guy's getting me back right now. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, holy.
2:30, and I see you guys pull up. I'm like, no.
It was so funny.
Yeah. Even at school, like I remember we'd be eating lunch in our cars. Like we had too many of us, so we'd be in like 2 separate cars. We'd be throwing like ham sandwiches at each other, like windows and stuff. It was so gross.
Yeah, Langer would always have like 2-week-old ham sandwiches that he never ate, and this guy would like whip them on my windshield. I'm like, got mustard everywhere. I'm like, oh my god, man! Or we'd go around the parking lot honking at people. They would lose their mind, man.
Okay, remember this story? So we went to Dairy Queen, like 9 o'clock, like whatever, like a late night DQ. I remember you guys would always text me like, hey, let's go get DQ. Like, not tonight, man. I'm sleeping. Like, I'm tired. I've been at school and Rick all day. Like, no, we're going. So you come pick me up. We go to Dairy Queen. But I remember this one time, like we're just chilling in the Iron Needles parking lot at Dairy Queen, eating our thing, and all of a sudden we hear honking. Remember this story? I know it's like honking. And then like you start honking back, and you guys honk at each other for like 30 minutes. Like you do 10 honks, and they do 10 honks. And that was like that was the most I've ever laughed. It went on for literally like half an hour. I definitely have a video of it, but it was the funniest thing ever.
I don't remember that, but one thing I do remember about the Dairy Queen trips is I hated peanut butter. For some reason, I wanted to make myself like peanut butter, so I always text you like, let's go to Dairy Queen. I need to go get a peanut butter or whatever flavored Blizzard. I remember like it was literally like every second day. But I remember one time I was chilling at the house, and Reed, I think me and Reed got in a fight before he left. And he left somewhere, and then like I see all the guys at Dairy Queen. I'm like, I want a Dairy Queen. Like, so I remember losing it at Reed, and I'm like, his car was parked in front of mine, and Reed's like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave. And I saw Reed's keys, and I'm like, I'm gonna take it. I remember he said something about like, don't take my car because he knew.
I remember this, yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I thought for a second, I was like, okay. And then I was like, you know what? I'm too lazy to move his car, then move mine. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this guy's car.
With me. Like, we just, yeah.
What?
Something like that.
Yeah. I go pick you up. I go to Dairy Queen. And then I make sure Reed knows that I'm like,
Yeah.
so
That's what it was. It was me and you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I go and send him a little picture just so he knows I'm at Dairy Queen. And then I get a call literally 2 minutes later, like, you idiot. I know what you did. Yeah. Like, are you kidding me? You were done. I'm never talking to you again. He's like, I told you not to take my car. Like, this guy wouldn't talk to me, man. He wouldn't even look at me. I remember just like, how mad I was. I was like, I'm taking this guy's car. I'm getting Dairy Queen. I'm chilling.
That's hilarious. Oh, Dairy Queen.
I remember we went to Dairy Queen for we went through like a phase. It was like a lot of Dairy Queen.
And then like the last day of school, we went to the one by the odd. We're like, we need one more run.
Yeah, I remember we got sent home, and just like Dairy Queen, like it was instant. Like
then we switched smoothie place for a little bit. We were getting the smoothies. Remember that? Oh
yeah, booster juice.
Yeah.
What do you remember about kind of the day we got sent home?
I just remember like I was like a little excited. I was like, all right, gonna go home for a couple. Like I haven't been home in forever, you know. Like season's been a grind.
Yeah.
I was like, a little excited. I was like, because they told us like, all right, like 2-week break, like go home, you know, relax, keep skating. I remember Mac was like, find your youth teams or like teams to keep skating with because we'll be back. And we were hot at that point, you know. Like we were going into playoffs. Like we were good. Like we could have, you know. I think we were trying to make a run. So I just remember going home, packing my stuff. I was like telling my belts, like, hey, like I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. I packed for 2 weeks, brought some clothes. Like that's it. Not my TV, not my Xbox. And then like, yeah, next thing you know, like 2 weeks turns into year and a half now. So like my clothes are still up there, like my Xbox, my TV. So, but like looking back, I'm like, like I wish we never left. But
Yeah.
what do you remember?
I remember, I think we were playing Sioux that day, and I remember coming to the rink, and I'm like, it was right after school, and I remember like, I don't feel like this today, you know.
Yeah,
It's like, you know, it's going to be one of these games where you either play really good or really bad. There's no in between my legs. You're like trying to get your legs into it. And I remember it was the night before the game because we were going for practice. Yeah. So and I remember all the guys are like having a jolly time playing sewer, joking around, saying like basically we were like getting shut down for 2 weeks. So like, kind of like that phase, we were like kind of needed a little break. Like we knew we were kind of heading in for a deep run, or we were hoping a deep run. Like I was kind of at the point where I was like, 2 weeks sounds like a deep. Like I wouldn't mind 2 weeks right now. And then I remember just like it felt like so quick. Like it was like everyone out of here, and I remember it's just like 2 seconds later we went from like playing sewer in the middle of the rink getting ready for practice to like we were all like packing our gear and stuff, and then like I don't know, it just felt like so quick. And then it's like we haven't, like a year and a half later now, it just like feels like maybe we should stay 2 minutes longer at the rink, talk a little longer.
Like some guys didn't even say bye to, like some guys weren't at the rink or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I remember the guys saw just like shaking hands with everybody, like see you guys in 2 weeks, like whatever. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, I remember later that night, Axel and Billy were still here because they were the imports, and I remember going over just like they're like asked me to come hang out. I'm like, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Anyways, I went over to their house, and I'm like just like literally talking to them, and then I leave. Like I don't even think I said bye. I was just like see you later, and then now we're not sure if we'll see them or what. I don't know. It's kind of just felt like fast, and just kind of everything kind of just happening really quickly.
Yeah, dude, that year flew by. Like that's my only year in the O. Like that's all I know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I remember coming my first year, and I'm like, I got 4 more years of this. Like wow, and I'm like, I remember it like being the best time of my life. Like my first year, and I'm like, wow, I got 4 more years, 3 more years of this, and then like coming last year, the year that just happened, or half year, I remember like, oh my god, I got 2-3 more years of this. Like this is perfect. Then we got shut down. I'm like, oh, okay, like maybe another half, even 20 games or whatever we were thinking about. I'm like, okay, but now I'm like, oh wow, we got 2 more years. Like wow, it does fly by. I remember everyone telling me like enjoy it because it will fly by. I'm like, 4 years doesn't fly by just like that. But I mean, we're on year 3 right now, or going on to year 3, and it feels like I just started. So I mean,
definitely is the time of your life though. Like
100%. Like the friends I've made in junior and with Kitchener, like they'll be my friends for lifetime. But it just everyone that says it is like it flies by. It's 100% right.
Like it's like high school. Everyone says like you walk into school your freshman day and like, oh my god, like like we're not, like it just flies by.
Yeah, I remember wanting to be an adult so bad when I was a kid, and now I'm just like trying to hold on to the junior days or hold on to my teen years just a little longer. I mean, I think I'm just hoping kind of everything gets figured out now. But
a normal season next year.
I think that's all I got. You got any more?
See, Chuck's after games. Remember those? Didn't get the half price after 9, so like our game would end, and we'd go to Chuck's and we get like half price apps. I remember our table would just be filled with quesadillas, nachos. What else did we get?
I would get calamari. I would always get calamari.
We just get it like literally like a $10 appetizer would be like $5. We just load up. I remember that.
I remember the poor waitresses or waiters we had. I remember like pulling up, and we'd literally have like you, me, Arbs. Like we would get guys like that didn't even live in the area near us. Like, we'd have like half the team, and they're like, we'd always do like half price apps. We'd get like each guy would get 2 quesadillas, and like the kitchen would literally run out, and they're like, who is ordering this many quesadillas? Like we'd be like, I remember that so clear. There'd be so much food, man. Like we'd have to get like 2 separate tables just for our food, and then like we started like I'd go like calamari one night, got a quesadilla too. I switched it up, nachos maybe one night.
That's all I could like think about after games is like because you're so hungry after games. Oh my god!
Quesadillas, man. They were actually like
They're-
they were like perfect after a game too.
Texas is a good spot.
Yeah.
Where else did we go to eat? DG. We all get all the boys go to DG. Good spot.
Oh, my first. It might have been my first year. It was like our last. It was after the season, and I think me, Reed, and a couple of the other guys stayed like 2 days, 3 days extra, just kind of final goodbyes and whatnot. And me, Reed, and Arbs went to DG for every 3 meals. We went there for breakfast, and then we went there for lunch, and then we're like, well, we don't want to cook dinner. And then we went there for dinner. And I remember just being like, it was like, I feel like I just like, I don't know, just like 3 meals in one day. I was just like, I didn't even feel bad about it either. It's just like, it's so good. I was like, hey, 3 meals, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good spot. We went to the movies a lot. Got any good movie stories?
Movie stories. The guys chucking popcorn. Do you, the guys, I remember, I forget who it was. I forget who it was. I know it was Arbs involved. That's when you know it's always a bad time when Arbs, you know something's gonna go down. But I forget who it was. It was Arbs and someone. And I remember it might have been Rupoli.
Yeah.
I remember anyways, they're chucking popcorn like you always like goof around chucking popcorn. And I remember someone got so mad. It was definitely, I think it was Rupes. Someone got so mad that like they were like getting popcorn through it that they stood up mid movie and dumped their whole bag on Arbs' head. And I hope I'm telling this story right because I remember this so clearly that they literally stood up. I remember just a full bag of popcorn going on someone's head, and the boys are getting mad now. And I remember next person gets a bag of popcorn on their head, and I'm like literally just trying to like sink in my seat here, like, come on, guys, like we're in the movie theater here. Yeah.
Mott's singing. I remember Mott's singing "Party in the USA."
Yeah, that was so fun. I remember when I had to do that. I remember like being so embarrassed. And like they throw noise canceling headphones on you. That's probably actually that makes it easier than. But I remember just like I got Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. I remember just being like, well, I'm here. Now I got to go really into this song. So I remember like dancing, like getting my arms up, like giving it my all in this song, like if my life depended on it. And I remember just like taking my headphones off and like just like there's nothing like
if you're like nervous or like timid about it, like it's better just to go all out and like the boys. So, like, but I remember when Mott's did it. Mott's was like the first guy to do it. And Macker's like, Mott's like, you don't have to do this. Like it's like he was like telling the other guys like he doesn't have to do this. And Mott's like, no, I want to do it. Like I really want to do it. And he just like went all for it. So that was a good one.
Buffalo Bills game was fun too.
That was probably that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was probably one of the better moments we have. We woke up so early, man. I remember like half the guys, or like a decent amount of guys didn't even know about going because we got up so early. Like I remember you picking me up getting gas literally 5 a.m. Huh?
Yeah, we got back late, left early. Like I remember for like weeks, who was trying to set it up? I think it was like Howie,
J-Mac
was a big one, yeah. But I remember them setting it up for weeks, like, yo, get tickets, like whatever, buy nosebleeds. Like it's just about like going and having fun. But yeah, I remember like I drove. Who else drove? Mott's.
I think that was it. But I literally remember we got home so late from a road trip and like Reed bailed, and I was like thinking like I'm literally gonna do nothing but sit in bed the next day. Like I remember you picking me up at like late 5 a.m. like getting gas, and I'm like asleep already in your car. But like I got there, like definitely the best experience, and then getting to see like them play Lamar Jackson too was definitely cool.
I remember, like we met up at the rink at like 5 a.m., drove down, like got there a little early, had some fun, and then went into the game. And I remember like because like I've been there before, like I'm from there, so like I remember all you guys just being mesmerized by like how crazy like Rosemont is, and like just seeing how many people there are. Like I think it's like holds like 60,000, maybe a little more. And you guys were just like blown away, and like it was cool.
I couldn't believe it. Like I thought like people took hockey serious in Canada, and then you like saw like, oh, it was crazy. Like I couldn't believe it, like how into it. Like I remember a person beside me in the nosebleeds, like they'd probably been having a little bit too much fun, starting a little bit early. I remember them sitting beside me and they're kind of like falling forward. And I remember there's like a mom and like a baby in front of me. And I remember this guy fully just like going down on them. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
what the heck? And it like fully started like a full brawl up in the nosebleeds. Like this one guy pushed this guy off this baby, and then this starts this. And I'm like, these guys love this sport, man. Like a little too much. Like I remember them just being so into it. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, yeah, probably hands down, probably one of the better things we've done.
I remember I was driving home. Do you remember who was in my car? I know it was Jens, Arbor, and
I was in there.
Were you in there? So we were driving back. We get across the border, whatever. We go to like McDonald's, like right across the border. Everyone's hungry. Like we haven't eaten anything all day. So we're driving. And I remember like all the boys like had music going, like we're still like having a good time. And then I remember all of a sudden everyone just passes out. Like 10 minutes after McDonald's, and I'm just like, oh my God, like I have another hour and a half drive to Kitchener, like, and it's just dead silent. Like all the boys are like snoring. Arbor's like this, like it was hilarious.
Yeah, I remember the McDonald's so clearly because I was so hungry, and I'm pretty sure I ordered their whole menu. I was like chicken nuggets, fries, like and then like literally 2 minutes later, I like was in the middle between Arbor and someone else, and I'm just like. Yeah, and I'm just like snapping I wake up like 20 minutes later. I like look, you're the only one. And I'm like, I'll just rest my head again. I'm like snapping my neck and I fall asleep and we're just there again. But yeah,
looking my rearview mirror and everyone's just passed out.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. I forgot about the Bills game. That's a good one. Remember going to Serpa's and Fishman's for lunch? Remember that? And we just sit all of us like we'd get the fireplace going in winter. We just steal Serpa.
Yeah, this little bowl of candy, and like we would all like call dips before we got there on the good candy. And we're like, Reed's like, no, I get that one. And like I try to steal Reed's just to like make him mad, and then I would start a whole thing.
Yeah, like he would have those Hershey like cookies and cream. You remember those? We used to. Those are good. And then he'd have the fridge stacked with like the cheese and like peanuts. We were like just devour those too.
How about the game that we played in the Windsor Hotel? We called it Monsters. I don't know. Were you a part of it?
I wasn't there. No.
You were. I forget why, but I was playing that night. So yeah, okay. So I remember playing that. Oh no, it was Reed that wasn't playing. Something to do with. I don't know. Maybe I can't remember, but I remember we were connecting rooms with Greg and Howie, and we started the night off by doing like the 100 push-up things a night. We're like, thinking we're big man, like 100 push-ups. We start that, and we were like talking now, and we're like, want to do something. So then we throw me and Reed's mattress or beds in their room, and we're like trying to think. All of a sudden, we came up with this like dumb game, and we got literally like half the team like in there, and so Reed's like the introducer of this game, and it's just an excuse to fight. Like we literally put like everything like laid out so no one could get hurt, and it was anyways, Reed's doing this stupid voice like to introduce this monsters game, and like he's trying to act like he's a monster. I remember like literally throwing like Fishman, Serpa, like small guys, and then we'd literally like throw arbs in there, and like he would like literally choke slam these guys, like bodies were flying, and like I don't know if anyone could hear us or like what they thought was going on, but like for like a solid hour, like a sweaty room, guys like no shirt, like just literally like just body slamming, like doing what choke slamming, like literally like a WWE match, like in the room. And I remember just like having to sleep on my mattress after. It felt like exactly what just happened. Like 10 sweaty guys just were wrestling on my bed, and I'm like, remember trying to go to sleep, and I'm just like, what the heck did we just do? I remember,
like you guys showed up to the game the next morning for pregame skate. You guys are like banged up, like it was so fun.
Serpa's got like a cut over his eye, like he's like hobbling in the rink, and I'm like, everyone's like, what's going on? I was like, well, definitely Arbs didn't do anything to them, like
dude,
so funny though. I remember so clearly. It was like a 1v1. We threw Serpa, or we're like two different body types. Like you couldn't get more farther away. guys, and I remember it's so funny. Serpa could barely walk after getting out of that room.
Oh, it's funny. Remember in Flint, we were like playing Suey, you know, like the big turf area.
Yeah.
So like we were playing Suey at the one end, Flint was playing at the other end. And I remember like I don't know, I think it might have been like J Mac or Vooks. I think it was Vooks. Remember they had their speaker going and he like unplugged it? Do you remember this? Like Suey, they're like Flint's just bumping music, like their big speaker, and like we all walk by. And I think like Vooks like just like nonchalantly like pulls it out and it just stops and like Flint just like stares at us and like they're like chirping or whatever, but that was hilarious.
I actually remember that so clear because remember what happened after they got their big guy on their team. What was his name? Tucker, the big guy on their team. They got when we went to leave, they got him to like cross his arms stand right in front of that speaker, and I didn't know they unplugged it. I'm like, I like looked at J Mac, he's beside me. I'm like, what is this tough guy like? What's he doing right now? And I'm like, he's like, we unplugged their speaker. I was like, I remember I was like, it was the most pettiest thing, and I remember just like, I was like, such a poop thing to do.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't tell anybody either. Like I think I was behind him or whatever. Like when like all 10 or 15 of us were walking out, I just remember him just going like this, not telling anybody, and they're all just like staring at us. It was so funny.
Yeah.
That was good.
How about the story of me falling on the bus? Do you remember this?
Oh, I think so. Maybe if you tell it.
I remember being it was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. on the bus, and I remember being half asleep, and I go to pick something up from the top of like the drawers up on top of the bus, and I remember all of a sudden the bus driver hit a yellow light and full stop, like full jammed on the brakes, and I remember never feeling more like weightless in my life because I remember me being in the middle of the bus, and I flew to like I was basically sitting with Macker now. I'm like. And I remember, like, I thought I broke my ribs. I remember, like, hitting every seat. And I'm like, I got up and, like, got a pretty bad temper. I remember, like, just kind of giving it to this bus driver. Like, not sure if he knew I was giving it to him because I was, like, trying not to really, like, show. Like, but I remember, like, what the heck going on? Like, 2 a.m., come on, man. And I remember just feeling like I thought my body was broke. I was, like, 2 a.m. I was like, this is not what I want to happen right now. But
that's pretty funny.
That was funny.
I remember on the buses, like me and Serpa would sit together, and like I remember like the late night road trips, we'd literally like be cuddling with each other, like falling asleep on each other. It's the funniest thing. I think like in Mott's and Pinelli sat like right across the aisle, and they'd be doing the same thing, all cuddled up like on each other. It was hilarious.
I remember I sat beside Langer, and I would literally lay on him. He had a pillow, and like we'd literally do turns. Like he would put it like on his lap, and I would literally just like put my head and like feet up on the next seat, and like I would do that on the way there, and then he would get it on the way back. Like it is so uncomfortable. When I got drafted the OHL, it literally feels like so long ago, but it was literally like what 3 years ago, and like mine was actually so weird. Now that I come to think about it, I was over in Czech Republic. My two buddies, we were on my school worked. We had an April break instead of a March break, and they were going over Czech Republic to play some like spring hockey. Like they didn't really care too much about the hockey. They were just going, and then like they invited me, and I was like, I can't pass this up. And I'm like, I remember I had a game, and like I had no service, nothing, like literally no connections to my life. I had nothing.
Yeah.
And I remember like finally saying like I gotta turn my like data on, like I gotta pay whatever fines, like because I knew the draft was today, and then I knew that there was, even though I was committed, I knew there was like more teams interested in others and like what spots like kind of might work for me, and Kitchener wasn't really on my radar. And then I remember getting the call. I didn't even know I was drafted, getting the call from my mom. She's like, oh, crying and everything, and you know how it works, and tell me I got drafted, and then like still wasn't really planning on going, and then ended up being the best place I could have ended up, but definitely a little weird kind of being in Slovakia. I'm pretty sure it might have been the next day when I found out kind of with their time change, but yeah, definitely a little weird, but probably the best thing happened going to Kitchener.
Yeah, dude. I didn't talk to too many teams. Like I think like the first one to reach out was like Peterborough, but I think like everyone, got that letter. I talked to a few teams, but like I never talked to Kitchener. Like that was the funny thing. So like on draft day, you're 15U, so I'm playing in the national championship in Detroit, Michigan. And I remember before the game, like the draft's going on, like right before the game. And I remember like all the guys, like, it's like a big deal. Everyone's like checking their phones, like literally like scrolling through their phones, like on Twitter and stuff, like 2 minutes before the national championship game. In the middle of my coach's speech, like to hype us up for the game, someone goes, "Oh my God, Declan just got drafted." I think it was Blake Humphrey. And like he just like blurted it out in the middle of the coach's speech, and he's like, "Humper, what are you doing checking your phone?" He's like, "But congrats, Declan." And then he like got back to his speech. But yeah, that was all I remember. That's like, thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, like Kitchener is a great spot, and yeah, I wouldn't like want to get drafted by any other team. It was awesome.
Yeah.
What about your NHL draft?
I feel like it was honestly almost like similar, kind of like in the way, like, I don't know, it wasn't like any other year. Like, I don't know if anyone will ever have to experience kind of the draft we went through. I don't know about the draft coming up or whatever, but like it was kind of almost like similar. Like it felt like you were like, you were there, but like you weren't there. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but I remember like I felt like the exact same. Like I probably could have been in like the building wherever it was going to be held, and it probably would have felt the exact same for me. But I remember just like it always felt like you might kind of have like a rough idea where you might like end up. But I remember like talking to my agent before, and he like gave me like 3 to 4 like round range, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is gonna be a long day. And I remember like watching the first night, like first rounders, and like I knew obviously wasn't gonna hear my name, but it was like I was like my heart was pounding. I'm like, oh my God, like this is getting real. Like, and then like when it came our draft, I was talking to you earlier in that day, like tried to keep it as simple as possible, like keep it a normal day.
Yeah, but I remember you snapped me. You're like working out. Like,
yeah, I'm in the gym. I'm like trying not to
think about it right now. I gotta like relieve the stress.
Yeah, I'm working out. I go see Merle's earlier that day, and I'm like just trying to like keep it normal. And then someone at the like where I was working out was like, "What are you doing like the rest of the day?" I was like, "I'm gonna go watch the draft and hope I get drafted here." Like no one even really knows, because like it's like it wasn't like a really known thing. We're watching it on TV now. I was like, I'm just hoping to get drafted later today, man. Like, but I remember like being so stressed every game being called, and then hearing it was weird. Like it went to commercial on my TV, and then I had like people like that don't really know hockey like text me that would like see like a report like from like some random scout that said that they think I'm going here, and like so I guess some reports said I was going to go to the Maple Leafs, and someone texted me like, "Congrats on going to the Maple Leafs," and I'm like, what? And I remember Maple Leafs not even being like in the vicinity of like in the pick, and I'm like, so like I got mad, I like threw my phone across the couch. I'm like, what are they talking about? Then I remember went to commercial, and then Merle's texted me, our trainer texted me saying, "Congrats," and I'm like, on what, man? Like I saw him earlier today, so I'm like, this guy's just trying to get to me. Like, I'm like, on what? And he didn't answer me. Or no, he said, "Are you being serious?" And I'm like, and then like 100 notifications instantly. And then I'm like, oh my God, I did just go. And then 2 seconds later, my screen pops up and my name's there. And I'm like, geez, like, I guess this is it. And then hear my name called by the TSN announcers. You're like, I guess that's it. How did yours go down?
Oh, I just remember waking up, texting you, and I'm like, oh my God, like, cause like I didn't really know, you know what I mean? Like I was on the boundaries. It's like a 50-50 kind of day, but yeah, I just remember texting you like you still hope, to get drafted. And I just remember it being the longest day ever. Like just like I think the draft took like 6 or 7 hours. It was crazy, maybe even longer. But yeah, I just remember being the longest day ever. And then like halfway through like the 7th round, I was like pretty pissed, I was like, like not gonna go. Like I like, like I was like, all right, I'm not going. Like I'll live with it. Like go tear up Kitchener next year. And then I remember like So like I went and got pizza. Like my family got pizza for dinner. Like we didn't watch the draft all day. Like I was just too nerve-wracking. And then we went and got pizza. I'm eating my pizza, and the scout that I talked to from Tampa Bay texted me, "Welcome, just welcome." I think it was just welcome. And I was like, "Oh my God, like what does that mean?" Like because I wasn't watching, I had no idea. So yeah, then I looked it up, and yeah, like my phone's blowing up, Twitter's blowing up. So that's how mine went down. So it was pretty cool. And I celebrated with my family after, had some neighbors and close relatives come over. So it was a good day. Worked out good.
Yeah. Honestly, like it felt like, I know being in person would have been nice, but honestly, just like hearing your name called, like that's all you want as a kid, just to hear your name called. So for me, it didn't really matter if I was in my living room or if I was on the big stage or whatever. But honestly, it felt the exact same, just kind of hearing your name.
Yeah. The adrenaline's running through you. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kitchener fans, this was good, and we got a little conversation, some memories brought back to us, and I hope everyone's staying safe through this crazy time, and I hope to get to see you some in front of you guys again. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, my username is Sebrango3. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, my username is D_Sebrango3. You might need to double check on that. I'm not completely sure, but I'll take the follow if you guys want to follow me.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. It was great to catch up with Brango. Yeah, you kind of forget about some of those memories, but it's good to catch up, and hope to see you guys soon. You can follow me at DeckMac25_.